8. Niyatam kuru karma tvam.
Niyatam kuru karmanyam.
Karma jayo hiya karmana.
Karma jayo hiya karmana.
Sharira yatra vichate.
Sharira yatra vichate.
Na prasidyara karmanaha.
Na prasidyara karmanaha.
Perform your prescribed duty, but doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So, he didn't want him to be a pretender, so he's saying you have to do your work. Work for you, Arjuna, is better than renunciation. In his case, Badrinath, there's the light of your life.
She's coming.
So then he tells Arjuna, the reason is you cannot renounce now because you are not on the Jnana platform. Jnana platform requires further understanding, knowledge and practice. And you can give up your karma. One can renounce at that level. Once you have enough knowledge and practice, then you can renounce because you are controlling your senses, you understand why you are controlling with the practice and so on. Otherwise, you have to stay at the karma platform. So jnana is higher in that sense. So he's telling Arjuna, so you are not on that platform, so you cannot therefore renounce your prescribed duties yet. So please work as a Kshatriya. And Arjuna's concern is, he is worried that if he works, he will develop material attachments and desires, which he is already feeling with these emotions. And then he's thinking about, if that's the case, and if I kill them, I'm going to get reactions. So therefore, to allay Arjuna's fear about working, Krishna is going to, which he describes in the next verse actually. But there's two kinds of pretenders also in the purport Srila Prabhupada talks about. One is the pseudo-meditators or mediators. They misrepresent themselves belonging to a high parentage, this and that. And then you have the professional men. Okay, they put on a garb to just show people that, look, I can do this, I cannot do that, like that. Yeah, and then great professional men, Prabhupada says, they falsely pose that they have sacrificed everything for the sake of advancement in spiritual life. But that is not the case. Anyone who is in the material world is certainly possessed of the impure propensity for lording it over anything, material nature. Practical. And the main reason they do that is for sense gratification. Sense gratification. So therefore, that propensity to enjoy must be first clear. If you can't do that, you cannot go and give up your prescribed duties. By performing prescribed duties, it allows you to overcome and control your senses. That's one of the reasons why Arjuna is asked to perform his prescribed duties. But don't be a pretender. Okay, so and one last point. Renunciation for the purpose of maintenance of body and soul is condemned in this particular verse. So to allay his fear that he will develop attachment and desires and the reactions that follow, Krishna therefore continues in text 9. Yajnartat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadatam karma kanteya tasanga samachara. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise work causes bondage in this material world. That's quite straightforward. If you do for Krishna, it becomes transcendental. If you do for yourself, it becomes karma. Okay. Therefore, son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. Basically, whatever you do in life, do it for the Lord's pleasure. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage or karma. Therefore, karma bandhana. Karma bandhana means bondage. So the formula is there. It's very straightforward. The application is what makes our life difficult, because we have a propensity to lord over the material world. So therefore, it's a challenge to not want to enjoy things. That's where we come to like a crossroads. Every time we want to enjoy, we have to think, can I enjoy it or what? So, unless you're trained properly, then you know everything you offer to Krishna. Just like when we cook something, we offer to Krishna. And then we take the prasadam of mercy, so popular. So that way you get purified. Otherwise, if you take without offering, you're only taking sin. Verily one eats sin, O Arjuna. So that's a very interesting understanding for most of us, because we never think like that. We never think, oh, I could finish off my reactions if I continuously do it only for Krishna. We never thought about that. So now Krishna is giving Arjuna an escape route. No, you can still continue to do your service, but there won't be any reactions, no sinful reactions. So don't fear about this.
Can you do that just by chanting Krishna while you're cooking, or does it have to be made and does it have to be offered to Krishna?
It has to be offered. The physical act, the physical act itself is a sacrifice. That means you're willing to do it for him.
And is that a separate plate?
Yeah. That is because there's a saying you might appreciate. Cleanliness is next to godliness. So therefore, whatever you do for the Lord is also has to be of a separate plate and so on. Whatever we eat in the same plate you offer, it doesn't. But we are embodied souls in His Spirit, so therefore you honor Him by giving Him the best. If you have a best crockery in your home, you use that for Him. He just uses a small plate for yourself. Like that. So that way He can see that is affection for Him. That is genuine love for Him. Otherwise then you will in the beginning say, alright, you take this, then later on say, you will just be eating and say, alright, you had your share like that. We can do like that. Because that's our tendency. Our tendency is to always lord it over. Yeah.
Is it good also when you, before you eat, you pray?
Yes, we always pray and we thank the Lord. Our prayer is to say that the body is a network of senses that is going to take us to hell. So by taking prasadam, it purifies us. That's when you say Sarira Vidya. So yeah, we pray the Lord, thank Him for everything is coming from the Lord. So we offer everything to Him back and ask Him for blessings like that.
So that's the way you're offering to, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like at home we prepare like 4 to 5 dishes. So put them on a that's a very good plate that is not used and offer it to
Yes, yes.
Because I usually do it only with the sweets.
Everything.
Everything.
What kind of plate? Should it be plastic?
No, it should be a best plate. It can be gold, it If you can't afford it, silver. If you can't afford it, stainless steel. Anything else is not good.
So whatever he can afford, he can use.
Yeah, some families they have silver utensils for the Lord like that. Yeah. It's quite kind of very common actually among devotees. But yeah, if you have a clean silver utensil, then you only reserve it for their use. Yeah, anything you cook, and of course you can't have meat, fish, eggs, and all. You can't offer to Krishna. It has to be all vegetarian. Milk products are acceptable. He loves milk products. And no onion and garlic. Okay. So that's what Krishna did. So here, yagna artha, that means for the sake of yagna. So yagna refers to Vishnu. Okay. Haribol, Ramaya and Vijay. Nice to see you. Yeah, so Yagna by Vishnu. Purpose of sacrifice, Yagna by Vishnu, is to please Vishnu. So all sacrifice is actually meant to please Vishnu. So therefore whatever we do has to be a form of sacrifice to Vishnu. Any action. Once you understand this principle easily, then you can easily do it without worrying. It becomes part of your life. But in the beginning, because you're so conditioned in a certain lifestyle, it's like, can't break that mold. But through help and guidance among each of you, help each other, come to the temple, talk to the devotees, they'll tell you how to go about doing it. So in the Varnashram system, the whole system is set up to actually satisfy Lord Vishnu. That is, actually it's called Devi Varnashram Dharma. But over the centuries, it has people just know it as Varnashram. And then again, it's not even functioning as a Varnashram nowadays. So to be Krishna conscious is actually the process of sacrifice also. So I do everything, I'm not thinking about myself anymore. So I'm sacrificing my desires, my needs and so on for Krishna. Through Krishna, by doing it for Krishna, I can satisfy my needs that way. So that's a higher manner than by doing it yourself or satisfying yourself. Because the consequences of satisfying your senses is karma, yes, karma bandhana. That's the consequence. And the consequences of giving everything to Krishna and then taking it is not necessarily nishkama. Offering to Krishna is devotional service. Okay, nishkama karma. Okay, in karma, for example, in karma, you have sakama, okay, and then you have nishkama. Okay, sakama means you have, even though you know Krishna is supreme and you like Krishna and so on, still you have desires to enjoy. That's sakama. Nishkama is you have finished with the attachments. Yeah, you just want to do the duty.
So whatever you get, you're satisfied.
Yeah, whatever you get, you are satisfied. So
Is it like you expect something back?
generally that's sakama if you expect something. One who goes with expectation is sakama. Just like demigods. They all go to Vishnu for something. Oh, the demons are harassing us. So it's like sakama. They're worried about their throne, their properties and things like that. That's sakama. Nishkama is no more attached to all those things, whatever the result is. But he's only wanting to do his duty. But even people who are not in Krishna consciousness can also practice sakama and niskama also. But their goal is not Krishna. Okay. There are many practitioners are like that. They're very detached, they go on the mountain, they do meditation and stuff like that.
So it can be karma kanda or karma yoga.
Yeah, that's right. Okay?
I got a question. I do computer work, so how do you, any projects I work, I just say this is for you or something?
No, it's not like you're doing it for Krishna. You're doing for the company. The fruits of that labor, you offer it to Krishna. Yeah. Now why are you working?
Make lots of money.
Huh?
To make lots of money.
To make money. But you see, that's selfish thing.
Support family.
Support the family.
Yeah.
Take care of.
So no, not just support family. You have to think like, I'm supporting my
Krishna devotees.
Krishna conscious family. So therefore you are not thinking about your needs anymore, you are thinking about devotees' needs who are connected to Krishna. See, you are always connecting to Krishna.
That's what I want to know how to connect.
Now you know.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, in fact, even the work that we do, like we have to think that, like it's to help others, in a positive way.
Yeah, you could do that, but ultimately you have to think this job I'm doing is
Right.
ultimately to
Benefit
benefit yourself so that you can come and serve Krishna.
Right.
So,
And
whatever
benefiting society at large.
Uh,
Benefiting society at large, the people who need that.
So whatever what money we make, it helps the family, it helps the car to bring us here to the temple.
yes, now you
Listen to
understand.
you.
Yes, the petrol you put in your car to come here, that's positive now. Yeah. Those all are purified. Those that you don't use for Krishna service will have some reaction.
So it's just like tricking the brain into doing something.
Huh?
Isn't it just like tricking the brain into doing something?
Tricking the brain to doing something. You're training the brain to doing the right thing. It's not tricking. Because now your brain, this Krishna consciousness is to brainwash you from the wrong way you've been thinking for eons of lifetime. So now we are washing you, think in the right way. So you connect to Krishna. Yeah, generally to do and to understand you need devotees to talk about. Yeah. So sometimes some things are very difficult to actually come to a good understanding whether I'm doing it for Krishna or whether, for example, you may be working in the armament division or nuclear research, and then you're actually part of the problem for the world. So these are things that you need to really discuss with devotees and then make a life decision. Yeah. It may be tough, but that's how it is, because you are. If that nuclear thing that you do and they use it to bomb some country, then you are part of that thing.
Then-
Remember, for every action, anything, there's 6 personalities involved in it. The 6 personalities.
Probably I heard a story that professor and scientist in Berkeley, UC Berkeley in California, the one who invented the nuclear bomb for the first time, he, I think before he did that, he read the Bhagavad-Gita.
Yeah, it's in the
I see it.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And to make sure that what he was going to do was right thing or not, So then he felt encouraged that he should go ahead and.
Well, anyway, it's a terrible thing that
Mistake that you
He
do.
reads it and still decides to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when he was it.
Anyway, yeah, because he did have a devotee to
Nobody to
guide
explain
him.
to him.
Yeah.
He couldn't find you. So.
Yeah.
Maybe the way he justified was Krishna
Yeah.
is telling Arjuna to fight, so I should also do the same
Yeah,
thing.
most people do that. You can even see how Gandhi misinterpreted the whole Gita in his own way, right? So people do that. Yeah, so let's go to the next verse. So remember, just to highlight before we go to the next verse, when you do things in Krishna consciousness, you're free from reactions, free from karma. When you're doing it for Krishna, you are already liberated. As long as everything you're doing for Krishna is liberated. The moment you stop, you're not liberated. Okay? To sustain it will take time to always think of Krishna, but we are not at that level. So performing service or connecting things to Krishna, you are a liberated state.
So we can also make a goal that if I make this much money, this much will go to the temple.
Yeah. So that will purify your so much reaction for making things. I was saying, right, karma, for example, people who eat meat, right? There are 6 people involved in it. The person who kills it, the person who transports it, right? And then the person who cuts it up, the person who prepares it, the person who cooks it, the person who delivers it, and the person who eats it. Right? So 6 people involved in it. All of them share the karma of
These
the
days
killing.
probably a lot more, right? Because that industry is so advanced, there's machine, there's corporations, there's
Yeah.
CEOs.
Yeah,
it's,
So the software you write may be used in this slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
So therefore,
computer will make probably.
so therefore you need to purify your actions.
I heard in India is the biggest importer of meat.
I do not know.
Importer, not importer, exporter. They produce the biggest meat now. I think.
Is that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
I
it
think
here.
they are
Somebody
become
was
the
giving a
largest
lecture.
producer.
Were the Kshatriyas prohibited from eating the meat?
The Kshatriyas were actually, they had certain, they can gamble, they can take alcohol, and I believe they were allowed to do on certain circumstances, take meat. But we are not Kshatriyas.
But who are Kshatriyas?
Huh?
Who are Kshatriyas?
Kshatriyas
Part
are
of us
warriors.
But right now,
Nobody.
nobody, but everybody eats.
So in certain religions, like they prescribe that certain percentage of your income you should donate or
Yeah, but that they don't have a proper understanding anyway. They just want their church or temple or mosque or whatever to sustain based on the
But
community.
that is not prescribed any such.
We don't. Because the actual amount I mentioned yesterday is 50%. I don't think anyone can do that. So what you do is you make sure you pay your bills, your tax, everything, and after that you can say how much you can give to Krishna. But should be given, otherwise you will reap the benefits of your karma. Must be given for any nice project. Oh, I heard you guys are building a new place. So yeah, go for it. Pledge big and Krishna. Yes.
Animal sacrifice is permitted.
Not in this age, but in the previous 3 ages, yes.
No, in the recent Madras,
Yeah.
Prime Minister allowed the priest to do the animal sacrifice.
Yeah, but what does he know?
No, the priest are doing it.
Yeah, same. What do they know?
What they do.
Yeah, they don't know. You're not allowed to do any of this.
Actually, it
Animal.
is banned by law in India.
It is banned. According to Shastra, you can't do all those things anymore. There's no qualified Brahmana, first of all, what to speak. The sacrifices, when it is performed, when you kill, you usually use you use an old animal. Right? When you sacrifice the old animal, it will come back in the same sacrificial fire as a young animal or as a human being. Did it come up during this recent sacrifice?
No, that's just very good.
Yeah, so then they are all just doing some barbecue or something. It's not sacrifice.
So probably
When
why
it's real sacrifice means you can see something come out from there.
in India certain parts that everybody eats lots of meat and some places they don't eat? Why is it divided like that? Because the whole country needs to be.
No, because you have to see, over the centuries, different groups of people conquered India. So the influences, people, instead of holding the Brahmin, Sahayagna Prajasritsva Uvacha Prajapati Anena Prasavishyatva Yeshavastu Istakamadu. Then now he's talking about how this sacrifice, prescribed duties are executed. No? So he's quoting from the scripture. Okay, so in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." Basically, the whole system is set up by the Supreme Lord. Okay. Here you actually are looking at the Karma Kanda section. From text 10 to 16, we see how Karma Kanda can become Karma Yoga if you follow a certain path. The previous verse is Nishkama Karma Yoga, because everything is for Vishnu, you are not attached to the fruit. So here we are talking about how if the person is too attached to material life and they cannot perform what was recommended, then for them Krishna says they can do Karma Kanda activities. So it will help them. Karma Kanda will purify them to come to the stage of Karma Yoga. And then in Karma Yoga they will perform Sakarma Karma Yoga, and then if they purify further they can perform Nishkama Karma Yoga. And if they connect to Krishna, then it becomes Bhakti Yoga. That's what it is. So here is explaining the Vedic Karma Kanda, how to live happily by performing sacrifices. So the purpose of material creation is, as Prabhupada writes in the purport, is a chance for the conditioned soul to go back to Godhead. That is the purpose of this material creation. Otherwise, there is no reason for this material nature. Originally we were with Krishna, but we became envious of Krishna, according to the scriptures. And you may say why, but we are free thinkers, free will. So we became envious, we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. So then out of His mercy, He created the material nature, and we are transferred here to undergo purification. So the consequences is birth, death, old age and disease, and the cycle of taking birth again and again and again. Born again and again. So that is the purpose, to learn and to learn our mistakes and then to go back to God. And another reason in this material creation, Krishna is saying, is to perform sacrifice to purify ourselves. We do sacrifice for satisfaction of the Supreme Lord.
Sacrifice is fire.
Sacrifices, there are many types of sacrifices. So, generally for us nowadays it's just 5 sacrifices. And yajna, Sankirtan yajna is our chanting. So you give a lot of time to chanting on your beats. Like that, yeah. So that's another sacrifice we do. And whatever time you can waste, you give it to Krishna. Those are all sacrifices. Different types, different levels of sacrifice. In those days you can do big major sacrifice. You can put so much gold, ghee, buttermilk, whatever in the fire and satisfy Vishnu. But now you can't afford that. You can't even cook in your own home. The alarm will go off, right? Sometimes they set it up like that. Isn't it? I've been to many new homes when they try to do yajna, immediately it will make noise. So they try to turn it off, and by the end of a couple of years, most homes they take out the battery from the fire alarm. Defeats the purpose. Just you have to pay for them to install all that. It's another way of making money. Yeah, so the benefit of yajna is if you do it for Vishnu, then you feel there won't be much reaction, so you can at least have a little bit of happiness in this material. And then it allows you to get purified also. Purify your tendency to enjoy. So the purification sets in, and so you will think about the Lord. And later on, as you continue doing these sacrifices, you get more and more purified. You gradually become more Krishna conscious, and then ultimately at the time of death you can think of Krishna, and then you can go back to his planet. That means you get liberated. So that is the benefit of performing this sacrifice. So then Srila Prabhupada then quotes from the 11th canto, Krishna Varnam Tisa Krishnam Sango Pangashta Parshatam Yagnai Sankirtana Praye Yajantihi Sume Dasa. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by performance of Sankirtan Yajna. So that means worshipping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have the deities, not Chaitanya. Yeah. So in this age, if you have intelligence, Sumedasa, that means you use your intelligence to worship the Lord. Yajantihi Sumedasa. So therefore, the opportunity for us to worship the Lord in this age is very easy, and that is by chanting. Every one of you have beads, bags at home. If you don't have, try to get some. It's part of purification. You want to go back to Godhead, yes, do it. You don't have to do it.
Can you drive and chant?
Huh?
Can you drive and chant?
No, don't drive and chant. That is not counted. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah. So get up early, chant.
If you have Krishna's music playing, CD, that's good.
Yeah, you can just play a CD or whatever in your car, that's fine. Yeah. But don't chant and then drive, because you can get into accidents. You can go quickly back to, I don't know where, but where's Anil? He didn't come?
He didn't come. He had an appointment, so it was getting late.
Okay.
Thank you.
So if you're listening when you're driving,
That's fine.
that still helps.
That's better, actually. You listen to Prabhupada's lecture, or someone you can. It's better to listen when you drive. And also same with phone. No phones when you're driving. Turn it off.
See, I always listen to YouTube Prabhupada's lectures on the way, but then it's not interrupting really. It just keeps playing on and on for
Okay, that's
30 minutes.
Yeah, that's good. You can do that as long as it's listening, but don't watch video and so. While driving. Okay, so don't do all that. Yeah. If you want to chant, pick a nice time in the morning. Best is before sunrise. It's called Mangala at that time. Brahma Muhurta, best time. The demigods are also at that time available worshipping.
So is that 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I think here is around 4:30 here. By the time it's 5, the sun is already coming up the horizon. You can see. So yeah, but the summer is like that here. If you go up to Canada, it comes up, I think, close to before even 4 o'clock. The sun is up. Yeah. So. So ultimately we have forgotten our relationship to Krishna, but through these processes, yajna, sankirtan yajna, chanting, we are trying to rediscover what we have lost. We are having amnesia now. So by performing this yajna, this covering will be removed, and then we will understand who we are really. Okay. It's not hard actually. For this age, chanting is very easy. Like I said, get up early, put aside some time to chant every day. Right? How many of you chant? One. Okay, how many of you don't chant? 3. Huh?
Okay.
You didn't put up for both. Yeah, it's you should chant if you can. We can't force you, but it's for your own benefit. This is the prescribed part of your prescribed duty also for this age. So chant. Text 11. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu va parasparam bhavayantaha shreya paramavapsyata. So the demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. Let's just read the next verse and we'll come back. Istan rogan hivo deva dasyante yagna bhavitaha aydattanna pradayayvyo yobhunte stena eva saha. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So, who are these demigods? They are, as Prabhupada says, they are empowered administrators of material universe. So, they govern the air, the sun, the moon, water, so many things. There are like, how many? 33 million demigods. So,
I was just thinking of the Fortis and the moon, like Indra would be one, and what are the other 3?
no, it's not actually in that. Generally most people have distilled into Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva like that, worshipping. But that's not what it is. Because that's another misconception in Hindu culture.
So demigods are like the board members.
They are the cabinet members. Yeah. Cabinet members. The president is the...
President is Krishna.
Yeah.
And the other ones are cabinet.
Just his ministers. So they do what he wants them to do. So
everybody has powers.
Yeah. So he empowers them. He gives them the ability to control certain elements and so on.
Because Krishna cannot control everything, right? So.
No, he can. He's just giving. See, just like Obama is in charge of everything, but actually he's not a good example because he can't do everything. Krishna can do everything he wants. Just that he's giving us the opportunity to do service for Krishna. So the demigods are also like us, trapped in the material world. If they do their service for the Lord, just like us, lovingly, then they also get the opportunity to go back to God. Yeah. So that's a post. And there's a post, cabinet post, all these are posts. Surya, Chandra, they have their own names actually. So they are empowered administrators, and they supply, Prabhupada says, the supply of air, light, water and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajnas by the human being. Some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary. Okay? So it doesn't matter which yajna you do. Vishnu gets the first benefit, then the demigod will get it. But if you do it without knowing and worship a demigod, you get a little bit benefit from Vishnu. And then over the course of maybe hundreds of lifetimes doing karma kanda, you finally get sufficient purification to understand that Vishnu is actually supreme. Okay, so that's how it's set up. It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yatnas. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. This is in the 5th chapter.
I got a question.
Huh?
Do you consider Shiva as a demigod or?
He's a demigod. He's not God. It's like yogurt is made from milk, right? But yogurt is not milk. So that's Shiva.
Milk is Krishna and Shiva is yogurt.
Yes. That's an example given by Brahma himself. So the ultimate...
Why are they called as Trimurtis then?
Huh?
Why are they called as Trimurtis?
Well,
because one is creator, the other one is the maintainer, and then the other one is the developer.
yeah, but you have to know the whole picture first. Within the... Yeah, it's a sidebar. Away from this. The whole creation is actually done by the Lord himself, Supreme Lord. So when he comes to the material universe, he personally doesn't do it. So he empowers two of them, Shiva and Brahma, to do it. And then he personally comes as the maintainer. Okay? So these three personalities are known as Guna avatars. Okay? So Lord Shiva takes charge of the mode of ignorance, Lord Brahma takes charge of the mode of passion, and Krishna or Vishnu takes charge of the mode of goodness. Yeah. But still he is Supreme Personality of God. He does that seva as an expansion of himself.
So he needs some partners to help him out.
Well, he's again allowing the other living entities to do this service for him. He's a personal person. He's very personal. He likes to have people doing it together with him. Most people don't like to, nowadays you don't like to interact, right? That's why you have all these video games and so on. You don't have to see anybody's face, you can just play. But no, Krishna is very personable. He wants to interact with people.
He don't want to be by himself.
Yeah, he doesn't like to be alone.
So we have lots of demigods.
So, and again, it's an opportunity to do service to Vishnu, so that they can go back to God.
Why did Arjuna had to pray for Ishvara to get the Pashupastra?
Well, that's a weapon. Yeah. That's just one of the pastimes where he wants to get the weapon. He asked Shiva for that. He doesn't need to, but he did anyway because he was told by his brothers to get some of these weapons. So he went to. But without Krishna, he can't win the battle. If you read the Bhagavatam carefully, you will see that when Krishna leaves, all his weapons are gone. He loses every ability. He even loses to cowherd man who comes and defeats him. So it's like that. Yeah. It's part of the Leela, you can say, to show how some of the demigods also favor this Vaishnavas like Arjuna and so on. So he wants to show the glories of a devotee. That he can go and even match his prowess with the best in the universe, who is Lord Shiva himself. And Lord Shiva is very pleased with his prowess, right? He says, this is good, so I'll give you what you want. Yeah. Okay, so these demigods are servants, assistants of the Supreme Lord, and they supply all the benedictions for us, whatever we need to survive in this material world. And therefore, this system called Karma Kanda Yagnas was set up to please them. You want to live in a certain way, you do all these yagna. The ultimate person who actually takes all the benediction is, beneficiary is Vishnu. Okay? So when you do yagna, then what are the other benefits? There won't be any scarcity in the world.
Rain.
Yeah, rains will come. Remember I said it earlier. So there won't be any scarcity. So everything will be very nicely done. Nowadays nobody does any yagna, no sacrifice.
I think in India it's summertime, there's no rain, so they do yoga, right?
They're supposed to do it,
They
but
do.
I don't know what they do now.
It's on TV, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're supposed to do this yagna. So from yagna you get rains. The yagna is coming from prescribed duties. So prescribed duty says you have to do sacrifice. So you do yagna. So from yagna comes rain. From rain you get grain. Grain. Okay. So from grain then you can do yagna again. So for sacrifice you need yagna to sacrifice. Then the demigods become satisfied with you and they bless you. You cannot just take the grain and eat it. Remember, every harvest they have some big yagnas. Yeah, you have to sacrifice first. It's like payment tax.
So that's why they do Satyanarayana Katha every once a year.
I don't know about Satyanarayana Katha. Those are recent development things. Yeah. But they are not. Yeah, they are like karma kanda things. Yeah. Generally, karma kanda people have misused, they misunderstand it. They go, they worship, they say, give me, give me, give me, give me, right? That's all they do. Swami Jaya Jagadisha Hari, why don't you give me this and this? Jaya Jagadisha Hari, give me all that I want from you. That is all this they do. Exactly, right? That's all they do. We don't want all this thing. The real yagna is to go back to the spiritual, not try to get temporary things.
No, but this yagna that you were describing, that
Food.
is temporary thing.
Rain.
You basically, that is temporary. That's the same thing. Give me,
Because-
give me.
Yeah, but this is a different thing. Your survival depends on this. What is it? You give me a green card, give me citizenship, it depends on your life. Well, that's what most people do yagna for.
It's for necessities, right?
Yeah, yeah. These are prescribed duties we are talking about.
It's not for material stuff, right?
No.
We do a
And there are things like, okay, you want a good wife, good husband, those kinds of things are there. But they are not part of the main prescribed duties. They are like extras. So then you have to do some tapasya, some austerity, some fasting and so on.
So does yajna fall under sakama yajna?
Yes.
For the greater welfare?
Yes,
But still
yes.
it's sakama.
It's sakama,
Ridiculous,
of course.
one inch.
Sakama karma.
That is required, right?
Huh? Yeah, it's
Sakama
prescribed
is
duty.
needed because to sustain the body.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. But if you do it knowing it's for Vishnu, to please Vishnu, then it's no more sakama.
Oh,
It's
even that
bhakti.
becomes- oh,
It becomes bhakti. If you're doing it to please the Lord so that He will give all this to sustain ourselves so that we can continue our worship of the Supreme Lord.
So you said animal sacrifice was allowed in the previous yugas, right?
Yeah.
But this yuga is not. So how come they didn't get this papa or sin? They didn't have the sin because they were killing animals
When?
in Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga.
Yeah, because whoever does the sacrifice must be successful, otherwise they get the reaction.
So they were successful in those
Yes.
days.
Well, the success is how do you know it's successful?
Comes back as a younger.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
back as a younger animal or it'll come out as a human being.
Fire
Yes.
comes up from the fire.
Yes.
Oh, they
They can see it. It's instant. You can see the reaction.
But if you do right now, it doesn't happen.
Hmm?
You do it.
That's why you do now, you get
Ashes.
barbecue.
So it's not possible to do this either.
I've never seen anyone, I don't bother with this, but I guarantee you nobody can do it in this age. There's nobody qualified to do this kind of yagnas. That's why the prescribed yagna for this age is Sankirtan yagna, chanting, because that's the only thing we can do safely, otherwise we'll kill everybody or slaughter people. Already they are slaughtering poor animals. So Alright, so then yajna is required Prabhupada writes, it frees us from material bondage. By performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified. By eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present day society. That's why we do offer to Krishna. So when you offer to Krishna, it purifies your intelligence. And then you will do the right things. But if you don't offer to Krishna, then you will not be able to understand even the Bhagavad Gita. This is all matter of purification. Every step you do purifies you to come to a certain level to understand what am I meant to do next. And then if you can't understand, you get information from a devotee, or through your sacrifices you will get some knowledge. Divya Jnana. Alright, so yeah, so then different yajnas are set up for different types of people also. Those who are more of ignorance will do some kind of sacrifice, those who are more in passion, another, those more in goodness do another type of sacrifice. But all these sacrifices will elevate a person's consciousness. Okay. All material necessities come through yajna. All eatables. Okay? Whether it's vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Everything. Because the animals also succeed on grain. So then they can, and people kill the animals. So everything comes from sacrifice, eatables. The heat, light, water, everything else. That's 12. We did that already.
What are the five, the Pancha Mahayagnas?
So what?
Pancha Mahayagna. What are the
Pancha Mahayagna for...
says over here for ordinary?
Oh, I see what you're saying. They worship the five demigods. No? I think it's Durga, Shiva, who else they worship?
Indra.
I do not know. I don't never done this.
Varuna, probably rain god.
Varuna? I don't know.
God of Saraswati, Agni.
No, they also do it for the living entities. You know, sometimes you will see people throw grains in the ground, right? For the birds or whatever, all kinds of things are related to those kind of yagnas to do. I'll check and tell you what this Pancha Mahayagna is referring to. Let me see. Yagna Shista Shina Shanto Uchyante Sarvaki Vishai Bunjate Te Tu Agam Papa E Bachanti Atma Karana. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. Okay. Devotees are free because they eat food which is first offered in sacrifice to Krishna, and therefore they experience real peace and happiness. Otherwise, you are taking only sin. It's not purified. Because when you harvest, you are killing the plants. So there is sin involved, even for grains. So that sin must be purified. So it must be offered to Vishnu or Narayan or Krishna. Then he will remove the sin. And then after that, you can offer it to other demigods or anybody else. That's how it's done. Otherwise, if you just eat it, you are taking the sin of killing the plants. So that's why you cannot eat in the shops and Subway or here, there, anywhere else, because you may think they are giving vegetarian thing, but then it's not. It's not purified. It's not offered to Krishna. And then you don't even know who the person is preparing the food also. Could be some murderer, or some crazy guy, right? Then you got to take his karma. When grains are cooked by anyone, devotee, their consciousness will be captured in the fire of cooking. Do you all know that? Maybe you'll know now. So when this is how it gets burned in the fire, they cook. That's why not everyone is allowed to cook in the fire. Only those who are Brahmins should cook. So then they will not have, their consciousness is higher, so then you get better benefits when you eat those that is offered. So, but otherwise you are just taking someone's karma. Someone who's thinking nonsense, someone who's thinking all kinds of bad things, that is bind in the grains that you are going to eat. So much karma is involved. Therefore, when you next time go happily and sit in the restaurant, just think of this verse and then you'll be happier. Yeah? So you have to be careful because it will cover your consciousness. Instead of your brain tissues getting finer, it gets denser. And then you get down into the material pool. You fall down. You cannot control your senses. So these are important things to know why we offer to Krishna. And we offer it to Krishna because we love Krishna. So we want him to eat first and bless it so that we can at least partake. Sometimes of course you are hungry and you want to eat but you're thinking, well, I'll just say Hare Krishna and eat. No. No, still you tell Krishna, I know I'm hungry, but you please bless it so that I can at least eat free of sin. Krishna understands, right? He's just like you and me. He's a person. He knows, okay, you are suffering a bit. No problem, I'll bless you. You have to understand, he's also a person like us.
You are probably the cooked food, right? Not like when you are eating cereal, milk,
Yeah, even cereal milk also you should offer. If you buy in a box, offer it. You can't say, oh, it will come from box, I won't. Unless it's cooked terribly, then it's different. But in this case, you have no choice, right? You're eating cereals, so yeah, it's machine produced by somebody is pressing the button, so his consciousness is still on the Kellogg's or whatever cereal you're eating there. But at least you offer these things to Krishna.
So you're saying if you have a plate in front of you,
Please.
Krishna, please, we offer this to you.
Yeah, or offer it to a spiritual master if you have a spiritual master. Provided you have no choice in the matter that you have forced to eat like that. But in general, most of you can cook at home, I believe. So
if a person has had a bad karma in the past and he's cooking the food, so when he offers it to Lord Krishna, it's purified automatically, isn't it?
yeah, of course. Anyone who offers it,
us have bad
yes,
karma.
yeah, all of us have bad. We are all in the same boat, so better to offer.
So the consciousness.
Yeah, so then we grow, our consciousness will get elevated as you continue this offering of your food. You find 10 years from now, you cannot imagine eating outside. But 10 years from now, you may say, yeah, it's okay. But 10 years later, you'll say, I can't eat this. What would Krishna think of me?
So wherever you go to eat, just bless the food.
Not wherever you go. You didn't understand what I said. You're twisting my words.
I heard there is like a chocolate factory in LA where they play music, when the chocolate is being made, just to put it in a mode of goodness.
Really?
And yeah, it seems people, two sets of people they were not told that it's called a blessed chocolate.
Okay.
So they were given the blessed chocolate, and others were, not the regular chocolate. But who ate the blessed chocolate, I think they, felt very good and peaceful after
Yeah, I
eating
believe
it.
that. Yeah. Same thing. When you go to a restaurant, you eat, you get stomach ache and problem, diarrhea, and that's your cup for eating. Spend the next hour in the toilet like that. Right, so if you offer
Some of the food are kosher.
kosher,
Kosher.
yeah,
That's blessed food.
still you offer.
Yeah, but
They don't know what they're offering. They cut the goat's throat and they say that's kosher. You can see Krishna won't accept that. So we don't accept that. That's different levels of understanding and offering to Krishna. People who are very much in the mode of ignorance will offer animals sacrifice like that to eat. As we go higher and higher conscious, we only offer that which involves the least amount of violence. So plant food is least amount of violence. Any other level you go, great violence.
And plant food nowadays, they have chemical made plants and organic.
Doesn't matter, I'm saying, least violence, most violence. Pick the one that's least violence. Anything that's higher consciousness where you kill it, it's a lot of violence. Yeah.
Why is it that onion and garlic, they don't come in the sattvic food category?
Yeah, they are in Raja Guna and Tama Guna.
And below definitely
Yes, they are also predominantly in Tama Guna. So you can't offer Tama Guna to Krishna. You can offer food in the mode of goodness only to Krishna or Vishnu. That's why we don't use onion and garlic. But you don't need onion and garlic. You can use a little bit of hing. You see the same taste.
And ginger.
Or ginger. Yeah.
But onion and garlic, everybody's like all Indians eating it. It started in India, right?
Not really. All these are introduced at the time of many,
You guys?
no, not you guys. The conquerors who come, they bring in all these food items.
It's like spice came from Mexico.
What
to
spice?
India.
No,
Red spice?
no, it's other way.
Some things maybe, I don't know. But mainly the thing is, it's a contamination of the culture. Yeah. So then they eat. Like, when the Mughals came, they introduced eating meat and all that. So they mixed. So the North Indians, you can see a lot of them will eat pretty much a lot of things. Yeah. Then you go to South, they weren't doing it. But now McDonald's came and they're all eating everything. It is.
Yeah, KFC.
Everything is now. So therefore, we need to help everyone. We can't think we are safe now. No. Everyone can eat food that's offered to Krishna in the mode of goodness, then their consciousness will elevate and they will know they are doing wrong. So they will want to purify themselves. So if you don't do yajna, then Krishna considers you a thief also. Because it doesn't belong to you. You can't grow things and then say it belongs to you. Because even when you grow, who's giving the nutrition for the plant to grow? The sun and the rain and
air,
and
water.
the one that gives nutrition is the moon. Plants get their nutrition from the moon. It's interesting, but that's how it is. So therefore, without all these elements which are actually controlled or offered by the Lord, you cannot have food at all. So therefore, everything must be offered as a sacrifice to Krishna.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes. So this is a very easy process to be happy. You offer everything, you will become happy. If you don't offer and eat, you are accumulating sin, therefore you become very unhappy, miserable, psychologically disturbed, mental, then you get to take a gun and shoot people. extremes in society, because you cannot, your mind is so disturbed. But if you eat more food in the mode of goodness, your mind gets very peaceful. Yeah, it does. See, like if you put, generally, I don't know, but our family we didn't do it, but in most Indian family they eat a lot of spice, no? Chili and so on, too much. That becomes too much in the mode of passion. Too much chili is passion. And then too much salt, too much sugar. That's in the, now, like in most processed food, there's always sugar in it. Why? Because it tastes good. Salt and sugar is a lot. People are addicted. Salt is very addictive. Once it goes in your blood system, it's very addictive. So you can see when people eat the potato chips or fries, they cannot stop.
Everything has salt.
Huh? You experienced that many times. No, we all did it. So you learn now what is good habits, good food, etiquette and so on. So stop that. Actually, you all should cut down on salt. It's too refined. It's just too refined. It just ruins. A lot of people get blood pressure problem and then diabetes. All these are coming because your lifestyle. Look at us, right? What we do most of the time, you are sitting on our butts. That's about it. We are not as active as we used to. And we don't even do any exercise. The other day Maharaj was saying, or somebody was saying, the main exercise we do is take the remote and button on and off.
Just your hands.
Finger exercise.
Oh yeah, actually it's finger, right? Most of you like to text, right?
Yeah.
So your thumbs are very strong. For fingers maybe. But yeah, so because you're very sedentary, you shouldn't be eating too much also. The capacity to eat, you have to, once you learn how to eat properly in the right amount, then you can control, you have a better life, and you're healthier also you will be.
I got a question. Nowadays food are processed,
So
and some of them are organic. How do you,
some of them,
organic
processed food.
It's regular food can become made and they're organic.
Yeah, so try to avoid food that has too many chemicals in it, as best as possible. I don't think there's much difference between this organic and I think they're all lying to people. I don't trust these people. Unless you do it yourself, you can't trust these people. For example, the FDA says, right, I'll give you an example. If it says caffeine free, it means there is
Sugar.
caffeine free.
A lot of chemicals.
Yeah, they give you sugar, so you get that same line.
Yeah, but also they have caffeine in it still.
Yeah.
It can be 5% caffeine.
So it's still caffeine.
Yeah, that is the FDA. It has to say no caffeine.
Decaf.
It has caffeine in it. So they will cheat you. So it's a world of exploitation.
So instead of caffeine, you say use that other one. What do you call that?
I don't know. Anyway, if you want to take something like that, you can make your own. If you have coriander seeds, you roast it really dark, and then you boil it in milk. It will taste the same as coffee. Yeah. Go and try that. You're addicted to coffee, and it's much more healthier. It's good for your heart, digestion, and so on. Yeah.
Coriander seed, coffee.
Roast it really dark, but don't burn it.
The garlic and onion, even as a medicine, it's not okay to eat?
Yeah, but as I say, there are different gunas, right? In Ayurveda, they apply herbs that are in the mode of goodness predominantly. And then you have all the other Siddha, Veda, Siddha medicine, so they may go into some other levels. Yeah. So everything has three gunas. Medicine is three gunas, food is three gunas, anything in the world they have three gunas.
So it is okay to consume it in small
If
amounts.
it's for medical, you see, look, if you say, I want to take garlic, there is a substitute in the mode of goodness for garlic, so why you worry about garlic?
But we
As
don't
a
know
medicine.
we don't know the substitute of garlic.
Because you never bothered to find it.
It's regional, it's not available.
Huh?
Probably all this food, isn't it, it's regional?
Yeah, not necessarily. Nowadays
You don't get the
there's
coconuts.
no region anymore. You know that. There's no more regions.
Give me an example. Like,
Everything is flown overnight here and there, so there's no such thing. You
No,
can
that's
get,
okay.
you
That's
can get a
correct.
coconut also in the supermarket now.
yeah.
Those things are gone, those days are gone. Yeah, there are, if you want to, like your heart and so on, if you know herbology, you know Arjuna, the herb, protects cholesterol level and heart condition. So if you know all these things, then you know where to go and get it. Then if you want to have a vitamin, a proper vitamin and health during winter season, you take Chyawanprash. It has so much good amla, which is rich in vitamin C. So it's there. It's just that
You have to research.
it's just that the culture that you used to be is gone. So you don't know now. Now you have to relearn some of the things, and then you can balance your lifestyle. See? It's a matter of balancing now. Just to do a little bit research, like you said, and you'll find there is alternatives. And many people out there, and now the World Wide Web, right?
Yeah.
You go there's so many people who don't want to eat garbage anymore. But because these industries are controlled by really powerful personalities, short of being called demons, they won't let others get inside and take their profits. They will not. They will fiercely protect. It's like the gun lobbies. Fiercely protect.
It's like the cars. They
Same,
don't
yeah.
produce more electric cars.
Alright, so text 14. Annat bhavanti bhutani pajanyananna sambhava yagna bhavati pajanyo yagna karma samudbhavaha. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yagna, sacrifice, and yagna is born of prescribed duties. So we went through this. And another important thing is that you offer to Krishna, the food becomes like a vaccine. The prasad is vaccine. It inoculates you against all the nonsense. So as long as you take food offered to Vishnu, you are protected from all the nonsense and your senses are protected. So it's like an inoculation. It is antiseptic. So material reactions are stopped as long as you take prasadam offered to Krishna, pray Krishna. Dragging something?
Something over there.
So if you don't offer to Krishna, you will just increase your sinful life. And then if you eat anyhow, you eat anything, whatever you like. There are people like that, right? Oh, I have to eat, I enjoy eating all these things. So then they will take birth as pigs. Yeah, pigs.
There's a picture.
Pigs eat anything. They say pigs are very clean, actually, because where they live, they will eat everything clean, because that's their nature. So they'll eat their own stool also. So that's pigs. So people love eating pig, pork. I love my pork. Huh?
Bacon.
Bacon, yeah, crispy bacon.
Yeah, right. There's a picture.
So yeah, if you eat without any control of your tongue, anyhow, then you become like a pig. Next line, Prabhupada says, hogs and dogs. So So you can see those people who eat indiscriminately, their body already is becoming like a hog or like a dog. You can see that. And then they say, oh, this, now in America, right, they say, what, so many states are in the obese and so on. But why? Why don't they tell them don't eat all these things, right? They will never say that.
Why they don't stop the factories to produce that?
No, they can't say that because they are all in the paycheck. So it's a whole, even the doctors make money off the industry, so why would they want to stop their own? In those days, the doctors would stay at home. Only when there is occasionally somebody sick, they would come and then administer the medicine, and then go back and have a nice day at home. No need to worry about 8 to 5 jobs like that. Now it's all
Last 24 hours.
made such that people will get sick also. Yeah, it's like that. You are doing technology research, right? Then you're thinking you're always solving the problems now. But actually there's a big industry that don't want you all to be successful.
That's not what my son said. He said even if you tell the cardiac patient not to smoke, they don't.
Yeah, that's the other side also.
You know, they don't follow the diet
Yeah,
restrictions.
I agree with you also.
And they keep coming back with the same issues over and over.
And that is also there. But you see, the doctor cannot prescribe things that he knows is good for the patient because the pharmaceutical company tells him no. The insurance company says no. You know, there's so many barriers. So the doctors nowadays are not really doctors. They can't really help the patient that much in reality.
But patient has to listen too, right?
Yeah, they can listen, but then it has to be both parties, you know. They have to support and say, get up, don't tell me what I should give the patient. They won't do that. The insurance company has become so powerful. You know. They determine all these things.
Has there been any conscious effort on part of ISKCON to educate people, you know?
Yeah, we're educating now.
But on the mass level, you know? On a mass level.
Well, we haven't gone to a main stream yet, but by food distribution, by our literature, we are hoping that there will be it's already, you know, like I said, there's like, you look at the US now, it's close to what, 5 to 8% people are vegetarians. So it's because of ISKCON. Yeah. That's a big number. So hopefully, you know, the more of you talk about becoming vegetarians and, you know.
Was ISKCON at the UN summit? Sometime?
I don't know. Maybe, I can't say. Alright, so yeah, so yes, please, if you don't offer, then there will be a lot of reactions, sinful reactions. We don't want that.
But what happened if the food is cooked today and the leftover we eat it tomorrow?
Yeah.
You cannot offer that leftover.
No, once it's offered, it's offered. It's still prasad.
Still prasad.
Yeah. It doesn't change overnight, so it's prasad. Prasad is always prasad. Once the Lord touches, it is forever, eternally pure. Even though it may seem moldy, it's still pure.
But what do you offer?
But you can't take it because you don't have the faith to take that kind of.
So what do you offer the next day?
Freshly cooked.
Yeah, but you're not going to cook that day.
Huh? So that means you're thinking about yourself, no?
Huh?
You're thinking about yourself.
No, lots of people work.
Yeah.
And
So
they don't have time
then
to cook.
you devise a way that
Just
you.
offer a fruit then.
Yeah.
If you don't want to.
So whatever you can offer.
Yeah, just offer something small, but offer something daily.
Yeah. Means I have food every day.
Yes.
Fresh, but some people they work 5 to 7, 6, 5,
Yeah.
8 to 5.
Yeah.
And they have to cook for the whole week and a couple of days.
Why would they want to do that?
They do that.
They freeze.
It doesn't take more than an hour to cook, you know. Isn't it?
Everybody will be out by 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah. It doesn't take more than an hour.
You're not doing
At most an hour and a half to cook. So what's the big deal? Anyway, that's laziness. That's laziness. Alright, text 15. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Okay, so if you follow what's in the Vedas, then it's as good as following the will of Krishna. That's what Krishna is saying. Therefore, if you follow Krishna, then you are purifying, and it is transcendental. So these are all regulations, they are all in the Vedas, and the Vedas are the breathing of the Lord. It comes from the Lord. So Yagnartha Karma, it implies there's a necessity to work for the satisfaction of Krishna only. Yeah. So therefore we do things to satisfy Krishna. So therefore in our case it's called Yukta Vairagya. It means everything is connected to Krishna. Okay? Yukta Vairagya. So the Vedas are like a code. There's a lot of codes how to do certain things. Just like when you go and work in the state, they have this codes you have to follow. Like that. So same thing in the Vedas. If you don't follow the Vedas or the instructions in the Vedas, then your activities are all sinful. Yeah. Then you also have karma. Or if you go against the Vedas, it's called vikarma. Okay? Karma is when you follow the scripture. Vikarma is when you go against the scripture. Akarma is when you do it for Krishna. That means there's no reaction. Akarma. So if you read in the purport, it talks about how creation is manifested and so on. It's a good read. So you can read. I don't want to go do that at the moment. But in any case, I'm going to give you some homework questions so you are forced to read. Right? Yeah. Before I leave, I'll give you a lot of homework. We meet the next. So, from the Lord comes the Vedas, and from Vedas you have prescribed. Text 16. Evam BhagavadGita-Chapter3-Part02. Nanuvartayati aya. Akayurindriya ramo. Moham partha sajivati. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. So you see, kind of heavy sentence here. Krishna is openly saying, if you don't follow the things in the Vedas, prescribed duties or not, you are a sinful person. Yeah. Well, like many kinds of people nowadays, they say all you have to do is work hard. Right? You work hard and we will all be happy. That's not a fact. Because every action you do, there is a reaction. And then they don't know how to
cure it.
Not cure.
Remove them.
Huh?
Remove them.
No, to
Stop.
Purify.
purify. Stop it. Purify. They don't know. People just say, oh, it's okay. Life is just meant for working hard and happy. And then they take birth in the next life. They say, oh, why am I suffering so bad? Because they don't understand the consequence of previous life's karma. One of the reasons why some people don't want to know about karma, Because if everybody understands karma, then their life they will stop doing a lot of nonsense. And so you will find that there are a lot of people don't like Krishna consciousness or philosophy.
They want to enjoy it.
Well, they have their own agendas to push. So they are afraid that their business will be ruined, they can't exploit people, and therefore they don't want our philosophy to be widespread. At the moment they don't worry about us because, like, you see that clock there? Right? Is it an ornament or is it a functional clock? Huh?
It's not working. It's functional, it just needs a battery.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. We can't even change the battery, so who will be afraid of us? Right? In the early days, the devotees, during Prabhupada's time, when Prabhupada started the movement, so they were all like worried about something new in the neighborhood and so on. So the police came in to check. And when they start calling on the phone and ringing the bell, nobody answered. So after a while they said, oh, these people are not that, we don't have to worry, they can't even answer the phone or take care of themselves. Until we are more responsible, we cannot make impact at all. It has to start with each individually, how to change your lifestyle. The philosophy is I think is the best in the world, that is my opinion. But then if the practitioners are not at that level, then you cannot really make an impact. Yeah, so as Krishna says, to be happy you have to follow the Vedas and perform yajna, and then you will gradually purify and then go back to Godhead. Human life is meant for self-realization, either by karma yoga, jnana yoga or bhakti yoga. Only those people who don't perform any, those who live like yogis in the mountain, are excused from doing this sacrifice and so on, because their life is already sinless. But how many of us are sinless? We always walking, we are walking on some creature, or we kill some grass, whatever, so many things we are doing. We are breathing in so many living entities. So we are sinful in many ways. So we need to purify our life, otherwise we will continue to suffer. Okay? Alright, then text 17.
Does it make sense to do what the Jains do? The true practitioner of the Jains, they cover their mouth, they don't go out after evening. There's some very strict rules, right, in Jainism.
Yeah, but it's still stepping on, when they go out to walk, they're killing, so what's the point?
But they walk barefoot.
Yeah, but they're still killing, no? Whether you put shoes or not, it's still, the karma is going to happen, you cannot stop it. Yeah. So Jain is a concoction of Vedic teaching by a king during the time of Lord Rishabhadev. Okay? He saw Lord Rishabhadev, who was an incarnation of the Lord, and he wanted to follow that. So they concocted that whole teaching of Lord Rishabhadev. Concoction. Change it. Twist it. Yastu atmaratir evasya atma triptascha manavaha atmani evacha santushtas asya karyam na vidyate. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. This is self-realized soul. It's talking about a self-realized soul. It's free from material duties. So that, but then for most of us, we need to do our prescribed duties because we are not at that level. This is talking of a person who is self-realized, who is very advanced, who is a Mahabhagavat. He is very pure. As Prabhupada says, fully Krishna conscious, fully self-realized. So for them, they are only thinking about pleasing Krishna 24/7. So for such people, they don't have to do all these duties. But Arjuna, you are not in that category. So therefore you have to do your duty. Okay? But still, you will Krishna will tell you, even those who are on that level will do their duty to set examples, so that the others won't copy them. Right? Just like little children, if they see the parents do something, they'll follow. So the parents have to pretend to do something, so they'll follow the right things. Text 18. Naivatasya kritinarto na kriteneha kasyana nachasya sarvabhuteshu kasyit adavya pashrayah. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. So this is how a Krishna conscious person is free from other obligations and prescribed duties. Because his main duty is activities in Krishna itself. And if you are Krishna conscious, you are pure, and all your impiety inside is purified completely. So no more karma in you, no more sin in you. And then not only that, he is fixed in his consciousness. He understands he is a servant of Krishna. So therefore, he knows that he has an eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. This is all in the purport, in the 18th. And because he is always thinking of Krishna, by the grace of the Lord, he has knowledge about the divine knowledge about the how to perform all activities for the pleasure of the Lord. And such personalities have no interest in material things. They have no interest in material things. Not at all. Not at all. The only main goal is to please Krishna. That's all. So therefore, they won't do anything. They are not interested in wine, TV, women, men, or similar infatuations. They are not interested in all this. No more pleasure for them in those things. And then because of all this, they are free from the prescribed duties. Because of that. Otherwise, we are all we have to do our duties according to the guides of our spiritual master. Text 19. Tasmada Shakta Satatam Karyam Karma Samachara Shakto Iracharam Karma Param Abnoti Purushaha. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. So now he tells Arjuna, so do, but don't be attached to the results of your fight. Do it as a matter of duty, but no attachment. Then you will attain me, Arjuna. Then you will come to me. So he's trying to give good guidance to Arjuna as how he should do it. So that is real. Actually, that is real renunciation, when you are not attached to the results. Yeah.
How do you know that a particular work is your duty?
we were talking in the beginning before you came. Yeah. How do you know? Right nowadays it's very difficult. In those days it was pretty much delineated. Kshatriyas do this. Nowadays your duty is, you have to see what your situation is. If you are in a certain situation due to your karma, then you need to focus on, let's say you're married, you have a family, take care of them. But take care of them as servants of Krishna, like we were talking earlier. Like that, yeah. And then when you work outside, you're working because that will pay for the building or whatever you're living in, so that you can perform your Krishna conscious duties. That's why you're working.
What if you come to crossroads? You have two paths.
Then you discuss with the devotees when you have such a dilemma. Because you can't make decisions on the drop like that. It's not possible. Sometimes you need to re-evaluate certain things carefully. Because nowadays it's mixed. So much of your karma is mixed with different gunas. Your guna is not particularly in this. But the way we make analysis is how it will enhance your Krishna consciousness. That's how the decision is made. And how it would please the devotees and Krishna. Based on that, then you can make a decision. Now, is it a long term or a short term? That's another consideration also. So like that you can make good decisions. But in all circumstances, you need to talk about it. Yeah. Not just don't make a, oh, I feel good, so I'll do it. Don't do it. Because there may be consequences later that you may regret. Yeah.
But if he has family,
yeah,
he has a duty as a father and
yes,
a husband and
yes,
son and
yeah,
daughter.
Yeah, that's what I say. You do that duty. But he says crossroads, he has to also think again, re-evaluate certain considerations. So that's what Arjuna is. He's facing a crossroad for him. Krishna is making it clear. Yeah. So working without attachment is renunciation. Okay? And this renunciation comes about through knowledge. Now Krishna will give him an example of persons who are like that. Text 20. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astitha janakadaya lokasangraham yevapi sampasyam kartumarhasi. Kings such as Janaka attain perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. So Janaka Maharaj was also very perfect. He didn't have to do his duty. But he did it to set examples so that people will also do their duty. So if Arjuna doesn't do his duty, then everyone will say, I want to be like Arjuna, the famous warrior. I'm not going to do my duty. So that's the reason Krishna is saying now. So he gave so many different reasons. Chapter 2, like you're the body, not the body, and even if it's chemical, then don't worry about it, and so on. Fine. Now he's saying, for karma reason, for setting example now. So he's giving different reasons why Arjuna has to do his duty.
Is he referring to King Janaka, Sita's father?
Yes.
What is that he did?
Huh?
Why Janaka is so famous? What is that he did?
He's a pure devotee and he doesn't have to do any more rituals or anything. But because he's a king, he's doing it as a daily thing to set example so that others will do it also. Generally people will follow the leader, right? Yeah. For example, in those days when the king changes his religion, the whole country will change the religion. Just like Ashoka, during the time of India, when he became Buddhist, the entire subcontinent became Buddhist, pretty much like that. Yeah. So that's why Krishna is saying, in general, you should do. If our presidents were doing nonsense and debauchery, then you'll see our common people will say, yeah, we can do it also. If the president can do, I'll do it. Yeah. It's a fact. They'll always will say, and in your family also, if you do it, your kid will tell you, you're doing it. Why I can't do it? Yeah.
So we are the role models for the kids.
Everybody. You're role model for your family members, you're role model for new people who come here. So therefore, you have to be honest, and therefore you have to set good standards. And when you don't know, then you learn and set good standards. Yeah. Right? So it's very important to keep this standard that Krishna wants Arjuna to keep, so that people don't just give up their varna and ashram. So the whole thing will become chaos. It will be a problem in society. Then you can't maintain law and order. So therefore he didn't want that. Janak Maharaj is a self-realized person, so he has no obligation to do any of this prescribed duty. But he performed to set example, to teach his subjects. So therefore Krishna asked Arjuna to fight, to set example. That violence is necessary because you are doing it for a good cause. So there's also violence required to kill. No? So in this case he's saying it's a good thing for you. You have to do that. So the same way we also have to set good example to show people how, as Krishna conscious devotees, we can do certain things. Like without onion, garlic, we are still alive. We are not dead. We have devotees who can really put on weight also, so we were not suffering. We are not famished or something like that. So we show good examples like that.
So you rarely see that, right? Now that you mentioned that, you rarely see devotees put on weight.
Rarely, but there are one or two. Probably it's more biological than... or maybe medical reasons some people put on weight, but otherwise it's not that way. Yeah. So, as a devotee, we don't really have much interest in the material thing, but we get involved with people out there so that we can help them raise their consciousness, become sinless. This is why we want to help others. Otherwise we are not worried. Otherwise we can just sit in the temple and chant. But then what is the point? Because Krishna later on says, for one who teaches this science, this secret to others, he is most dear. So therefore, each of you can go and bring someone to Krishna. You become very dear to Krishna. So therefore, follow nicely, and it begins by chanting. So now you have to go and find time to chant certain number, fixed rounds in your home. Daily, and then increase it over the year, and then find a spiritual master, take initiation, and then continue the legacy and help others. So I see all of you take Bhagavad Gitas from here. You all don't have your own Bhagavad Gita. So you have.
We do. It's here, so we just take it.
Yeah, but then what about all the notes taking? Nothing. You have good memory. You will go and listen. How many of you will listen to the video tape?
I'll do it.
Okay. But bring your book, so sometimes you can use post-it or whatever and put notes there. In future okay, if you go back and put it in your book, that's fine. It will help you later on. Because as you, over the years, you will learn more and more in the same verse, what I have said, right? You will hear from another person something more nicer, much more wonderful. So you add that in.
It's the first time, so we are
okay.
learning.
Now you learn this.
Totally confused.
Now you know you have to act for Krishna. That's not confusing.
I've been coming to the temple for a long time, and we never had a discussion like you. This is the first time, so.
No, I understand because it's new here. Pretty much the temple is just starting out, pretty much, the last couple of years. So yeah, I can understand that. But now that you know, so you should take it seriously. Learn something. One of the things you all should learn is when you're in this, when you're with the scriptures, don't touch your mouth, bite your fingernail. It's unclean, and then the book is scripture. So
Respect.
be respectful. If you do, just go outside and wash your hands. No problem. No, I won't ask you why. Or keep a bottle of water and then you can keep washing it if you have. You cannot give up the habit. So it's cleanliness. That's all. Brahminical culture is very clean. So we practice cleanliness. And then if you're clean, you come to mode of goodness. And then you can focus. So who's going to put the battery for the clock? Don't ask her. Someone else can do it. She's got so much to think and do.
You know, today I put the bulbs outside there.
Good. So today you put the bulbs. Good.
Thank you so much.
You know, she's a lady. She's an old lady. She's running around trying to run the temple.
So is there any reference anywhere in Bhagavad Gita as to how old was Lord Krishna?
Lord Krishna at the time of the battle was 95 years old, I believe.
And he lived for 150...
No, he lived for 125 years. Okay.
Arjuna was probably around 75, 80.
Yeah, 85.
But Lord Krishna never looked old, but he was always...
Yeah, well, you know, he is ever youthful. Nava yovanam scha. Vede shuddhillava dillava atma bhakti. Govindam adi purusham tamam. It's all there in the Purana scripture, Brahma Samhita. So as you all get more and more into reading the books, you will get all this knowledge. It's not that I got some transfusions and talking.
You should just read Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, in your own time. But for now, read the Bhagavad Gita. First, this is the basic book. If you know the Bhagavad Gita, then when you read the Bhagavatam, it will make more sense. Then you come back and read the Bhagavad Gita again, then it will make more sense. Then you go back and read Bhagavatam, then it will make even more sense. Come back to the Bhagavad Gita, it will make even more sense. Because these books are eternal. The knowledge is eternal. Therefore it's ever expanding. Anandam buddhi vardhanam. So it keeps ever expanding.
The more you read,
the more it's revealed. Ultimately you will go back to God because of that desire to please the Lord. Remember, we are all here just to help each other go back to Godhead, not pull each other to stay in the material world. Right? Because you know when you are drowning in the ocean, when someone tries to help you, what do? You drag the person down, you know? Yeah. So we are all in the material ocean, suffering. So we shouldn't do that. We should help each other, drag each other back to God. Drag ourselves back to God. Alright, so we'll see you tomorrow, same time. Thank you. Bhagavad Gita.